Hey guys, welcome to game number 2 between Invidious and SYF Gaming. This is it, Nightfall, the last game of the Smite
Phew.
Oceania Pro League, and it looks to be a big one if last game was anything to judge by.
Yeah, in SYF Gaming, they'll be pretty distraught after that one. Nvidia's super happy, so SYF really need to come back. Last time of the Pro League, they really want to make their mark and bring it back and just redeem themselves after that unfortunate loss there. Very, very well played by Invidious though. Extremely, extremely commendable performance by every single member. Before we head into the pick and bans though, shall we shout out our sponsors? First of all, we've got Sandboxer. I know you have a Thor, but I also have a Neath. Oh, look at
Yeah.
this.
Very nice, aren't they?
It's so fancy. It's
And
actually
then
really cool.
they're really nice, they're really well made. And
Mhm.
our other sponsors, Plantronics, giving us these headsets, and also
Thick
the winning team,
headsets.
which is Avantgarde, are also going to get a set of these rig headsets. Roccat, their winning team is going to get 5 Roccat keyboards. The second place team is getting 5 Cone mouses from the guys over at Roccat. So some really great support coming up for those from those companies, helping us out here in the OPL. But let's go ahead into our picks and bans now, Nightfall. What are you looking to see from
Sure.
these teams as we head into that phase of the game?
I'm looking for the Divine getting Chronos banned again because that's his comfort pick. That's what he's strongest on. We've seen it in the Pro League. People unfortunately did not ban it against him, and he absolutely wrecked face. So it will be pretty obvious if it does. It won't be surprising, but we'll see if Invidious do opt to do that one. As we see, our first ban away is going to be Al Kwang, and we mentioned it last game. Al Kwang is just that OP pick that you definitely want to get rid of.
Surprises me though that SIF are going to be the ones getting it away, considering that they are first pick. However, Liquid Renegade does prefer the junglers that stick to you a little bit more than he does the necessarily hyper carry junglers. We saw him play Athena last game, actually did some pretty good work on it with the taunts and the shield walls and the dashes and all that kind of stuff. The Ao Kwang, though, I feel like that's too good of a pick to pass up if you are the first ones to select. And next band's going to be Kronos, taken away by Invidious. Again, target banning Divine, and Cirquette now banned away by SIF Gaming. They recognize the work Freemason did on her last game.
Yeah, and he performed so well. You definitely have to take one away from him. But his god pull is so massive that it's very, very difficult to take to fully ban him away. He's got that Thor, he's got that Bellona like we just saw. He's got oh actually sorry. That was top notch, wasn't it? He can play
Yep.
Bellona though, as we mentioned in the last pick and bans. He's also got that circuit, so his god pool is just too massive to be targeted. Ares now our next ban away. We mentioned that last pick and bans as well. He's just he's a very strong pick, especially in OCE. But kind of kind of second tier. I'd rather see a Sylvanas or an Athena band away.
Even a Geb. Geb is very strong. We saw Nick Crick play him
Yeah.
very well last game, especially with now weakening curves being nerfed. Healing a healing guardian like Sylvanas, allowing him to get is a really, really risky move. We could see Bellona again going to be our first pick, but this time going the way of SIF Gaming. That's probably going on Liquid Renegade in the jungle. That's one of his favorite picks. The shield bash and the slow that provides is just one of his favorite abilities in the game. Coming up next, though, from the side of Invidious, they are going to get Athena and Agni, and that's going to be a really
hmm
potent combination for them.
Yeah, so it's just Rogue on Agni once again. He looked so comfortable on it last game. And Athena now, that's going to be in the hands of Nick Crick or Freemason. Who do you reckon?
Probably Nick Crick. I think Nick Crick. I don't think I've
Okay.
seen Freemason play an Athena jungle, although that would be something that he would be probably very good at, considering he used to play
Hmm.
support back in the old days when Invidious was known as Silicon Sports, and now we can see a Geb picked up by Sif. Yes, Geb. Geb's going to be picked up by them, and it looks like a Medusa as well. So I really like the Geb pick with the Stone Shield and stuff, but interestingly enough, that's going to mean Sylvanas is pretty much off the board unless Invidious doesn't want to pick him up.
Yeah, very interesting that Sylvanas has made it all the way through to here. I mean,
Mm.
he's such a strong pick. He's one of, if not the strongest supports in the entire game. And Rama is the next pick. So Sylvanas. not not making it. Interesting.
So yeah, it's a little bit odd that these teams don't really prioritize him
Yeah,
that high. Even though Twisty did all right with Sylvanas last game, got some really
yeah.
nice Wrath of Terrors off and got a unfortunate pull onto Just Roy where he pulled him out of
Mm.
Inferno Evil. We could, as you mentioned, the Rama pick. That's going to be going the way of Rana. That's going to be really good for him. He really likes those Rama snipes. Very, very
Mm.
accurate with him. He's great at hitting abilities, Rana. He used to play mid lane for Silicon Sports. That gave him the mechanical skill to hit those really hard skill shots. And now that he's building up his auto attack mechanics, he's becoming a really, really scary AD carry. Looking towards our next set of bans, though, Poseidon banned away by Invidious and Odin banned away by SYF Gaming. They don't want top notch on Odin.
No, he's such strong Odin. We've seen it in previous weeks of the Pro League, and they also want to take away that cage that forces the engagement and stops anyone who doesn't have a leap they'll be forced to fight, and that's probably what they're going after. A team comp that won't have any leaps, they'll have dashes instead. But we'll have to see what these last picks coming through are. Thor now picked up for Invidious, and no doubt that's going to be in the hands of Freemason.
That is one of their comfort picks from the start of the OPL. They used to have the combination of Thor, Odin, and Scylla. They've kind of gone away from that a little bit, but still kept the general idea of a very controlling team. And this is one of Freemason's just premier junglers. This is one of the ones he likes to play a lot. He can really get some great Anvil of Dawns to come crashing down onto the enemy team and set up really well for the damage dealers on his team. Let's take a look now towards SYF Gaming's next pick, Nuwa. That's going to be mid lane for Magnet, and then Apollo. That's going to be going the way of iDivine, going to be able to split push quite handily down the solo lane. Last pick is going to be the fabled tier notch for the solo lane of Invidious.
Ooh.
So some really nice team compositions coming out from both of these sides. We're going to go ahead and take some quick messages from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back and bringing you all the action from the final game of the Smite Oceania Pro League.
The new high-performance Rig 500 headset from Plantronics is designed to match the skills of an aspiring esport player with the gear they need to win. The new modular system gives you the power to adapt, upgrade, and personalize your headset for the task at hand. The Rig 500 series of gaming headsets are engineered to deliver the perfect combination of durable lightweight comfort in an immersive audio environment. 7.1 surround sound and 24-bit audio provide a stunning 360-degree sound field with directional audio. 40mm drivers with low-frequency resonators provide crisp highs and boosted bass. Clear voice noise-canceling technology provides clear communication to your teammates. From the headset company that equips the pros, the 500 series was crafted to meet the needs of esports and competitive players around the world. The new Rig 500 series of headsets from Plantronics. Respect the training. Reactions win.
When the world needs conquerors. When being rare is not enough. And even epic fails. It's time to create your own fate. To become legendary. No matter what kind of enemy you face, or what kind of game you play, you can become the craftsman of your own legend. It's time to create your own legend. Time to build your victory. Rocket Nef.
cares about printed, 3D print your favorite gods. Printed, Google Kansu, Sun Wukong. And try to collect them all from image to new wall. You can even score your very own floor. Take out a loan and order more. Printed.
Hello, Smite fans, and welcome to the last game of the Smite Oceania Pro League. This one is going to be between SYF Gaming and Invidious. Invidious taking out the first game in spectacular style. I am Husey, and joining me for this broadcast is going to be Nightfall.
Last game of the Pro League. It feels like it hasn't even started, which is a weird sentence. It's just gone so quickly. Just I wanna shed a tear. Bible thumps in chat, please. But oh wow. Yeah, SYF versus Invidious, and after that game number 1, SYF really want to rid themselves, and Invidious, they want to continue this one on to a 2-0, but we'll have to see if they can do that one. Going through the teams though, let's introduce them. But on the red side, actually, do you want to take SYF?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so on the
Sure.
left side of your Spetty Eye, fighting out of the order side of your minimap, under the blue health bars, weighing about 3.5 tons, we have got SYF Gaming. Divine will be your solo lane god of music Apollo. Liquid Renegade is in the jungle as the War Maiden Bologna. Magnet is your mid lane Chinese Fairy Noir. Twist and Redoxide made up your duo lane as the Big Stone Man, and the chick with lots of snakes in her hair as Geb and Medusa.
And on the Chaos side of the map, we've got Invidious in the solo lane. It's going to be the famed tier notch in the jungle. We've free Masonese as free as a bird in the mid lane. It's going to be just Rogue on that Agni, and Nitkrick and Rana Barana will make up our duo lane of Athena and Ram. Hoping to see some hot Ram snipes coming through like we saw Redoxide do in our last match.
Yeah, Rana Brana's been playing a lot of Rama in recent matches, beginning to really feel an affinity for that character, and it's a really dangerous god to be playing. We've seen Snoopy in the SPL do a lot of work on him, as well as some of the other 80 carries, but his snipes at the Summer Land Finals, or as some people said, the aimbot snipes, were really tremendous and helped put TSM up there. Rana Brana's hit a couple of those great snipes himself to help put his team ahead. Nickrick actually dashing in early onto Twist there, getting some early pressure down on towards him, not going to shield wall or anything like that, just at this early stage of the game. I think the wave clear though from Redoxide and should be a little bit better as we hit more towards level 4 or 5 just because of the acid spray. Medusa is just so strong. Actually, Redoxide takes a little bit of poke damage there from Rana and Nickrick.
He does indeed. This duo lane, I feel like it's going to go in favor of the Medusa. That Redoxide wave clear is a lot stronger than Ram early, and he's actually not gone for the Transcendence. Very interesting there. He's not opting for that sustaining lane with mana. He wants that health instead. Maybe he's afraid of the damage coming through from Nitkrick and Rana.
Yeah, possibly. I think though as well, has he gone to no? He actually, yeah, that's really odd. I feel like the Transcendence is just so much better on Medusa than the Devo Gauntlets are. Medusa's very mana hungry as well. A bit of an odd choice there, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Maybe he's looking to do a little bit more boxing than a Medusa might otherwise, more ability based generally than other ADCs. Rana Barana and Nickrick getting a lot of poke early into this duo lane, which is not something you probably would have expected with a Medusa being the AD carry.
Yeah, it's Invidious are just playing so much more aggressively than what SYF are currently. I want to take a look at the solo lane though. Vine versus Top Notch. How do you feel this matchup is going to go? Already it seems like the wave clear from Apollo. Oh wow, Thor is actually in the air. He's going to slam down onto Divine, and there's some rain fires coming through, and he's forced up into the air, but Freemason takes him down before he can use that across the skies to get out of there, and that's going to be first blood once again for Invidious in game number 2.
That was a great start for Invidious, exactly what needed to keep the momentum going from the last game. as to how this matchup's going to go. Going to have to wait a second as Topnotch uses the Lawbringer over the wall onto Magnet, who's knocked up into the wall. Twist is there to knock up Invidious. The firebombs come out from Just Rogue. Magnet, will the tick damage take him down? No, he's going to back away here. Liquid Renegade is in the backline there. Just Rogue taking a lot of damage, forced to dash away. There's a great wall there from Freemason to prevent Liquid Renegade from going any further. Twist now gets Fearless into the wall by Topnotch. It goes down, though, to Freemason. iDivine gets a kill onto Topnotch, and Invidious are all very low here. Great Eagles rally from Liquid Renegade. Picks up one kill, looking for another one here, but Nikrik doing a lot of damage along with Just Rogue. Rogue with the Path of Flames takes down iDivine, and a real messy, brawly start here in game number 2.
And this excitement is really what we want. Last game of the Pro League, we want as much fighting as possible, as much excitement as possible, and both teams are showing us that right away. And wow, the trades coming through. Invidious are on top of them, but it was nice fighting coming through from SYF Gaming as well as they still continue the fight. There's a dash from Just Rogue. He's going to be able to get away. And I feel like if that Path of Flames landed onto Liquid Renegade, then Runner could have followed up and secured that kill. But Just Rogue so low, didn't want to risk trying anything fancy. Topnotch is going to blink through the wall on to Magnet. Will he get taken down? Yes, he does. He's got the Fearless Power Cleave combo. Thor is going into the air, but who will he go down on towards? The mid camps.
They perhaps looked at something there onto Twist if Twist had hung around a little bit too long. Or maybe he just didn't anticipate how much damage the rest of his teammates could output and was looking to secure another kill there. Either way, though, Invidious showing early on that they are serious business in this one.
Yeah, indeed, and they're ahead. They're just ahead early game, and their fighting is just much better than SYF Gaming. And really off the bat, SYF need to pick up their game here. But I feel like it's a lot of CC from Invidious against a very low mobility SYF Gaming.
And well, this is the playstyle that Invidious like, that heavy CC comps. Basically, what they like to do is they like to just keep you in place while Just Rogue and Rana pour damage all over you.
Yeah.
And if they're able to do that, it's very, very difficult to combat that. We saw even one of the premier teams in Dials struggle a little bit against that very controlling comp. Kiki Amiro, particularly in the mid lane, was picked on by Topnotch a lot with the Odin, hence why we saw it banned away. But speaking of Topnotch now, he's getting aggressed upon by Liquid Renegade. There's the bludgeon, but the Mesmerize from iDivine doesn't quite come through. No mana left for Topnotch to really do anything. Wall from Freemason going to cut off the aggression in its place there. And both teams going to back away at this point. Topnotch just going to back, heal up, get some mana, head back to lane.
And I like just watching the mini-match during that, because both teams saw that their solo laners were in a little bit of an engagement, and they all started rotating, except for that duo lane, of course. That's just an island currently, but it's just nice to see teams follow up on each other, and it's I don't know. It's just in that duo lane though. It seems like Rana is on the back end, but like we mentioned before, Medusa should be winning out early game, and she has.
Yeah, it's playing out like we said. Early on, I think the presence of Nikrik was really swinging that battle into the favor of Invidious, but now Redoxide's wave clear is going to be pretty ridiculous, and if he can hit some of the splash of the acid spray onto Rana as well, it's going to be very difficult for Rana to sustain too much in this lane, particularly when he's so understacked on the Devourer's gauntlets, because he's just beginning to build those stacks. Similarly with Redoxide, Freemason though actually gets a kill towards the mid camps onto Twist. Liquid Renegade still there. Freemason goes up into the air. The Anvil of Dawn. Who's it going to become crashing down onto? He goes down onto Redoxide. iDivine comes in across the skies. Snipes from Rana. Don't manage to hit anybody there. Great mesmerize from iDivine to stop Topnotch's aggression here. Taunt comes out from Nikrik. Magnet takes a lot of damage. There's a Lawbringer over the wall from Topnotch. iDivine gets a kill. Petrify from Redoxide doesn't land. Nikrik taken very low by the Fireshides. iDivine got a double kill at this point, and Invidious now on the back foot as SYF Gaming looking for some vengeance.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to take these mid camps. Can they take anything else though? Maybe even a Gold Fury as 2 members down of Invidious. It is a little bit early though. And there was a huge miscommunication in that fight from Invidious, as Freemason did go down onto Redoxide, and Rana Barana was in the air. He had the snipes, but instead of hitting the stunned up Medusa, he decided to try and hit someone further away who was moving. If he did hit Red Oxide, he could have secured the kill with the help of Freemason, or at least forced the AD carry out of the fight. So that that Petrify and that Acid Spray burst damage from the AD carry wouldn't apply in that fight, and maybe Invidious could have come out on top of that one.
It looked like Invidious were really splitting their aggression rather than targeting one person and then moving on to the next one. Kind of were trying to go after 2 targets at once, but at this early-ish stage of the game, they just don't have the damage to be able to do that successfully, particularly when SYF started to group up and push back against them. And now, Invidious, let's take a look at our graphs. We can see they are still in control in terms of gold with about an 800 gold advantage. XP breaking pretty even there, just hovering around 10 to 100, floating either direction of that middle line. But SYF Gaming, if they can reach the late-ish stage of the game with a double ADC comp and a Geb, it's going to be very difficult for Invidious to do much against that, particularly Thor starts to drop off a little bit towards the latter stages of the game. If a tier gets behind, it's very difficult for him to do much. But late game, I've put this one pretty firmly in control for SYF Gaming.
Yeah, but it's like we mentioned before that Invidious like these troll comps, and that's just what Thor does. Is even in the late game, he puts up that wall. He forces the enemy to fight in specific areas, and he can also set up picks. So that's really the playstyle that Invidious have to play during this late game. But SYF's team comp looks much stronger in this. It's a lot better because of the duo AD carry as well, in the form of iDivine and Red Oxide, as well as the split pushing from iDivine.
That's going to be something that Invidious is going to have to contend with. No teleports coming out from them at this stage. Expect to see Top Notch pick one up at some point in the game. That is going to deny him a beads though, so he might be caught out a couple times in team fights. But if it ever gets towards that stage of the game, he's probably going to be tanky enough to really sustain through that. But iDivine, we need to start seeing some more split out of him. Unfortunately, Top Notch is going to be hanging around a little bit too much for him to split push a lot at this stage in the game. But look for that a little bit later on, and that it's something that Invidious, I don't know how they're going to respond to it.
They are responding quite well actually here, as they've got Freemason and just Rogue sit in that side jungle, that solo lane side jungle, and if Divine tries to do anything, they're both there. But the thing about that is it puts resources on the wrong side of the map, and it opens up the Gold Fury for SYF. So if they can, oh wow, Freemason actually going up into the air, and it looks like he's looking for a gank onto Red Oxide, who's forced over under tower. But that was actually a slam down on towards Liquid Renegade, who's actually tanky enough and takes very minimal damage. He's only down to 70% HP from a full burst of a Thor.
And it looks like it's going to be a bubble buff steal here from Invidious rather than anything else. Nickrick taunts in Liquid Renegade, not looking for terribly much of the backlist. Actually, you can see Top Notch and Magnet battling it out here in the mid lane. Magnet gets a nice stun onto Top Notch to end the aggression from him, and there's the split push from iDivine. Down goes the tier 1 tower, and he's going to keep looking for the tier 2 at this point, as Invidious are going to start up the Gold Fury. iDivine can come over at any point if he should choose to, but at this stage in the game, a tier 2 tower is more than worth a Gold Fury. Top Notch rotating that way now, but it looks like the fight is about to break out around this Gold Fury. SYF, 3-man pushing against 4-man of Invidious, and they are a little bit advantageous in this fight, got more health than their counterparts. iDivine is over on this side of the map now as well.
He just used that Eclipse Disguise, but unfortunately ran out of mana before he was able to engage into the fight. So if he did have just a little bit more mana than what he had there, I think a fight definitely would have broken out and a Gold Fury taken there, but not going to find anything there, as Liquid Renegade takes huge damage from a Taunt Rainfire combo of just Rogue. Last Rainfire won't find its mark, and Liquid Renegade is forced away, but still alive.
As things start to settle down here a little bit, let's go look towards some of our itemization at this point. Particularly towards Liquid Renegade. So we mentioned how he likes to play characters that stick to you, and that's exactly what he's done here with this Bologna with the Frostbound Hammer. So as he hits people with his basic attacks, their movement speed and attack speed are going to be reduced. That's going to be very effective against Rana Barana, and Just Rogue as well, just to make sure that it's very difficult for them to get out of the rest of the damage that the rest of his team's going to be outputting onto them. But that's just the Frostbound Hammer. If you could describe Liquid Renegade in a word, it would be that item, because it gives you it gives you health, it gives you power, and it lets you stick to your enemies. And that's what Liquid Renegade really likes. Just Rogue actually forced to dash away from Liquid Renegade at this point as some firebombs come down. Twist was hiding in the mist and knocked up Nickrick there.
Again, back to the itemization. I want to talk about Freemason. He's picked up a shell on a Thor quite early into this game as well. He really wants to play that supporty type. He wants to help out his team as well as force engagement for them as well.
Gold Fury looks to be, again, the kind of wardage point at this point in the game. Idivine fighting Freemason. There's an Eagles rally from Liquid Renegade who does a lot of damage to Freemason, uses the teleport to get out of the way here. And now Liquid Renegade looking for something more under the tower, perhaps. 5-man grouping from SYF Gaming here. Rotation towards the Gold Fury at this point seems to be the appropriate call, with Freemason out of this fight for the moment. But they're taking their time getting over there, and it looks like they're just going to try and bait the fight. Now they're on the opposite side of the Gold Fury to Invidious. There's a dash in from Nickrick there, gets knocked up by Twist before he can land a taunt. Both of these teams doing the awkward footsie dance before attempting this Gold Fury.
Look for the blink from today. As I say that, he does do it. There is Thor in the ear. He doesn't actually stun anyone up, as a very nice taunt did come down. Runner in the ear. He doesn't actually secure a kill. It's a double kill for Red Oxide. 3 members now down for Invidious. So quickly, what just happened?
Petrify is what happened. Dockside hit a 3-man looking at him petrify, and the damage coming out of that was unreal. And Invidious were literally frozen in their tracks there, and SYF were able to clean up off the back of that, take a Gold Fury, and now the XP is 3,600 in favor of SYF Gaming, 1,600 gold difference. This is the lead that SYF has been lacking since the start of last game, and let's see if they can capitalize it here. They push down the tier 1 tower and looking for the tier 2.
And at the same time, Runner is split pushing that tier 1 tower, but that's not a worth trade if this tier 2 tower does go down, and it looks like it will, as, oh, actually there was a 3-man taunt. Can anything be found from Invidious to try and counter this loss? Only a tier 1 tower in the duo lane, but now SYF are rotating for that one. They're on the retreat. Can Runner tie this up?
It's gonna be, if he can get it, it'll be really good. He should go away first, because otherwise he's gonna die. Magnet's gone up in the air, and that's gonna spot out Rana exactly where he is and prevent him from backing. It looks like Redoxide's gonna give chase here. No, just gonna defend the tower.
Yeah, both members out of there, so it would just be a really awkward engagement of Red Oxide chasing, slithering closer as Rana just walks back to tower. So not gonna opt for that one, but yeah. SYF looking extremely strong. 2.5k gold, 4.3k XP, and like you mentioned, this is the lead that they've been looking for since the start of game 1, and they finally got it, but can they hold it?
It's going to be interesting. Look at Idivine now. Gone Executioner and gone to another balance weight. So that's going to be a chin size for him. I actually really like this going up against Top Notch and Nickrick. Be able to chunk through a large amount of their health, as well as extra attack speed coming on. Back at Season 1 where chin size was all the rage. No pun intended there. But seeing it come back a little bit now that it's been reduced a little bit in cost, even though it did receive a pretty hefty nerf to the attack speed and physical power, and its passive it was able to output. I'm very interested to see how it plays out on the Apollo.
Do you remember Kin's Blades? Do you remember Kin's Blades? That thing dealt more percentage of... Oh, actually, hold that thought. In the duo lane, Divine is forced to across the skies. Can he get away? Yes, he does. But yeah, Chin's Blades, it dealt a percentage of missing HP. So the lower you were, the more damage it dealt. That was not a good idea. But anyways,
it doesn't sound like much fun.
No, it wasn't at all when you're on the receiving end. But this engagement from Invidious is actually going to be turned around from Magnet and Twist. Going to secure that kill onto Freemason, and Nickrick now forced away as well. He's got that dash, and Red Oxide looking for a fight. But he's not going to be able to find one, as Nickrick is just a little bit too fast with those Traveler's shoes.
Looks like Rana is going to be pushing down the left-hand lane again. Liquid Renegade is on his way to prevent him doing that. He's going to back at this point, just going to push some minions under there. Get some more pressure onto that tower. Force some pressure away from the middle part of the map. from SYF. But SYF still looking very, very strong at this point in the game. It's very firmly in their control. They need to not let go of this lead, prevent Invidious from getting back in this one, and take the win in this game, which they're so desperate for.
Feel like SYF need to put Divine in that duo lane to stop the split pushing of Rana Barana, and if a fight at Gold Fury, which is close enough anyway, or Fire Giant does break out, then the Across the Skies is going to be able to get Divine over to the fight, while Rana Barana is still going to be not pressuring as Divine was there recently, but he's not going to be in the team fight, which is really going to drastically change the fight as a blink taunt does come through from Nikrik in this duo lane. Magnet taking huge amounts of damage. There is the Fire Shard's going to return a lot of damage back on towards Invidious, but it won't stop them from fighting as Thor is in the ear, and it looks like he's going to find Magnet. Actually, a hot Rast Knight from Rana Barana is going to find that one. Defender of Olympus does come through, and Top Notch, he's got that Fearless coming through as well, huge damage on towards carries. Rana Barana now on the receiving end of a Petrify and a Liquid Renegade, who now has a double kill. Divine in the ear, he slams down on towards Nikrik. Huge damage coming through. Top Notch secures a kill onto Divine, but that's, oh, actually 2 return kills from Invidious towards SYF Gaming in this duo lane fight. So it's a 2-for-2 trade, but no one going to take a lead. It's just an even trade there.
A pretty even trade, but I feel like it was more advantageous if because it was a tower dive, they were still able to get an advantage from it. So it's going to be more of a psychological win, unless Invidious can find anything here, as Nikrik taunts in. Redoxide Stone Shield comes out from Twist, but Liquid Renegade was doing the purple buff of Invidious, and they didn't realize he was there. Otherwise, I don't think they would have dived in. Fearless comes out from Top Notch. Firebomb does a lot to Liquid Renegade, as does Flame Wave. He's forced to back out here. Nikrik looking to dash towards him, but great body blocking by the minions, Redoxide and Twist here to prevent any further aggression. Freemason, he's going up in the air. There's the blink in from Nikrik. Who is Freemason going to land on? No one but air. Spin to win onto Redoxide. Just Rogue looking to fight the other 2 members of SYF that are in the area. Double tap hits 1 on Redoxide. Both teams need to get out at this stage. No further aggression going to be coming forward.
And Freemason, he looked a little bit rushed there. He blinked as well as he used his Monia's attunement. Actually, no, that's the only blink he did have there. So he used that Monia's attunement to get in range for using that Anvil of Dawn, but he missed it onto Redoxide. And if I feel like if he landed it, he would have been able to get the kill. But he raced over there, he rushed himself, and he missed that stun. So unfortunately,
Blink Fearless there from Notch, but great Mesmerize from Divine stops him from hitting Magnet into the wall, who goes up with the Fire Shards anyway. Rana Barana still gets the mid camps. Nothing much here, but it looks like might be a fight about to break out in the mid lane as a couple of members of both teams going to group up here. No, everyone's just going to back away. SYF possibly thinking about another Gold Fury at this point if they can get Magnet back towards that side. They do have the advantage in terms of golden XP at this point and looking to build on that even further.
Yeah, and this next Gold Fury, I feel, is really going to dictate drastically the rest of this game. If SYF get it, then it's going to be extremely difficult for Invidious to come back to this game. But if SYF get it, if Invidious get it, they'll even up the game, and they've got a real chance of actually turning this one around and going 2-0.
Look at the boots on Twist. He's got the power boots.
Twist. Oh, wow.
Geb. Yeah.
Interesting. Going for that damage in the mana as well as that penetration rather than the cooldown. I feel like cooldown would have been much better for the shield.
And the Traveler's Shoes as well. I'm not quite sure what he's thinking. Maybe just looking to put out some extra magical damage in the early game before Magnet starts to do a lot. The new one not really that effective early. Tends to be more of a late game damage dealer. But I really like Traveler's Shoes on Geb. We saw Nikrik do it last game. That enabled him to get to the late game a little bit earlier. The Gold Fury startup by Invidious forced away now by SYF Gaming. But yeah, this Pen Shoes a very odd choice.
It is. It's very strange. You don't usually see it at all. Divine split pushing at the same time. There is Top Notch. Gotta stop that pressure from coming through. He's got that teleport actually in 30 seconds while Divine has got that across the skies. So Top Notch will actually turn up to a fight earlier than Divine. but Divine will have much on the backside of that, as well as that extra DPS. Oh, there is Thor going up in the air. Blink Taunt forces a beads out from Red Oxide. Hot Ras Snipes coming through. 1, 2, no, only one gonna land. And there's the Gold Fury. Who will it go down to? That is Red Oxide securing that one. That's an extra 1,500 gold for the side of SYF. And they're just extending this lead as much as they can.
And now down comes from the Eye Divine, going under the tower, mesmerizes Rada Barana. Liquid Renegade doing some damage to Just Rogue. That's a really good play by him, that's forcing out a lot of the damage that Invidious can do. Freemason forced to teleport away here as Redoxide pokes him out very effectively. Firebomb over the wall from Just Rogue, not going to really land on anyone here. SYF Gaming, they're in between two towers at this point, may not have the damage to really survive. There's a Lawbringer from Top Notch down onto Liquid Renegade, and Twist not really going to do terribly much at this point though. Nickrick dashes in, gets a nice 3-man taunt there. Mesmerize from Eye Divine, though, prevents the shield wall from going down. Nickrick goes down to Redoxide, however, Firebomb still landing from Just Rogue. Not enough damage at this point, though, to prevent the aggression from SYF.
No, and Thor back to the ear. Who's he gonna slam down to? 4-man Anvil of Dawn, and this is Invidious turning the fight around. Actually, Red Oxide secures a return kill onto Just Rogue and gets out on such low HP. Liquid Renegade kills Freemason, and what looked like a brilliant engage from Invidious is now in favor of SYF Gaming. Huge turnaround coming through. There's an Eagles rally onto Rana Barana. Will he fall to Liquid Renegade at the same time? Top Notch is trying to stop Divine from getting that kill on the tower, and Liquid Renegade secures a kill onto Rana Barana. What beautiful play coming through from SYF.
Yeah, they're really taking this advantage to its fullest extent at this point. That Gold Fury was a huge swing for them there, as Invidious did most of the work on that one, and they were able to pretty much pick it up for free by releashing it after Invidious were forced to drop off. Some nice play coming out from SYF Gaming, and this is the side we kind of expected to see more of throughout this split. A really powerful side. And, you know, Magnet moving to mid lane, I really like that move. He's a very strong mid laner, and that presence in the mid lane, along with Eye Divine, able to do nice work in solo, is looking like it's benefiting SYF at this point.
And while Magnet does not have any kills, he's got 10 assists, and he's top player damage, 1,400 above the Agni, who's got 1 kill and 4 assists.
That's, you know, it's a little bit... I like the Noir pick late more than I like the Agni late. Noir late game, it's just so much unexpected damage from the minions, and then the explosion in combination with the shining metal. The stun on that, as well as how much damage it'll actually do to you, will melt your face off.
A little bit I was gonna make a really clever thing there, but I really didn't. Well played, Nightfall. Anyway, continuing, Noir.
You're the real MVP.
Noir late game is extremely strong. Like you said, melts your face off, and it's got that vision attached to the fire shards as well as damage. A lot of people underestimate that. But vision in the late game, if you haven't placed a ward and you're curious as to where the enemy team is, in this case Invidious, then Magnet just presses 4 and there's all 5 members of Invidious right in front of him.
Take a look at some of our player damage now. We can see Magnet's actually putting the charts at the moment with 14k, closely followed by Just Rogue. But from there, it looks to be a SYF party. We've got Redoxide, Liquid Renegade, and Eye Divine. Then we got Freemason and Twist. But not a lot of damage coming out from Rana Barana, who in the last couple of games was actually able to do quite a lot. We could see him battling it out with Eye Divine over in the Joy lane a little bit there, just preventing Eye Divine from split pushing that tier 2 tower too much.
And Rana Barana has finished his rage, whereas Red Oxide has not. So the hits coming from Rana Barana is going to be absolutely huge and consistent as well, compared to Red Oxide, who has not. He's got that Executioner instead. He's got the penetration rather than that crit damage. And Rana Barana, I feel like it's going to fit him a lot more than the Executioner, as a little skirmish does play out or blink from Top Notch.
Yeah, Blink to just kind of out of the middle of SYF Gaming there. Invidious want to defend this tier 2 tower. They don't want to give it up for free. Redoxide split pushing a little bit in the mid lane. They need him over for the team fight, as his Petrify is a lot of their area damage, is Noir a little bit more single target in terms of her minions and her shining metal damage. Obviously the fire shards is a big team damaging ultimate, but what she mainly does, single target. The Petrify from Redoxide really does a lot of the damage for SYF, and it's a very good ultimate. If they could get it in a combination with a Cataclysm from Twist, we saw it in that fight before around the Gold Fury. He managed to stun 3 people out with it and do so much damage. If they can get that onto Invidious again, it's going to be very hard. Oh, look at Liquid Renegade hiding behind the wall of the mid camps here, just waiting to see if he can catch out a member of Invidious.
Is there a ward there? Can he be seen? I don't think so. No, not at all. But there is defensive ward. As soon as he comes through the wall, then Invidious will know what hit him, which will be an Eagles rally. Actually, it does come out. There is a blink Cataclysm engage from Twist, and the rest of SYF actually not going to follow up as they do zone out. But that's huge damage coming through from Liquid Renegade. He's forcing out all the ultimates that won't be used on the carries anymore, and that's a dash away from just Rogue. He's got no more charges left of his ultimate, and there's Thor going up in the air. Anvil of Dawn, who will go down on? He's looking for Redoxide. Very nice Petrify, gonna stun up. Free Mason, hot Rust Knives do come through. Only gonna land 2, and Redoxide, will he fall? Yes, Free Mason with a Berserker Barrage gets that one. Now Top Notch looks for a fearless kill. No, he's got the Twist with the shield. He's still alive on the backside. Runner shuts it down. Liquid Renegade, that's so much extra gold in the pocket for him. And
look
now
at
Invidious are winning. Fine, Divine split pushing a Phoenix.
Divine going to take Phoenix. He took down the tier 2 as well. Just Rogue was forced to back to stop the one. Look at the damage Divine is putting out. He's going to take out Just Rogue. What? That was incredible. That's the chin size there. The Fatalis as well, allowing him to box that so nicely. And now the Fire Minions are hitting Invidious's Titan, doing some of the first Titan damage of this game. Invidious, though, pushing back down the mid lane. They took the tier 2 tower. Blink in from Nickrick onto Divine and Twist. Great Stone Shield, though, prevents a lot of that damage. Divine is doing so much damage right now.
He's got that Fatalis, and it's going to be so hard for Invidious to be able to lock him down. And look at the chase. As soon as he lands one basic attack, it just deals so much extra damage, and that chin size, so much damage from Divine right now. It's absolutely insane.
It's pretty crazy to look at, but Invidious going to back up at this point, wisely recognizing they don't have the health and mana to keep contesting around that Phoenix. They need to go back and defend that right-hand side Phoenix. That is an incredible win there for SYF, who are now going to be able to start up the Fire Giant.
Yeah, and for those wondering as to why Divine just used that Mesmerize, it does give him protections, meaning he'll be able to tank up that Fire Giant a lot longer than usual. Make sure you do get that screenshot for the giveaway if you use ! giveaway in the chat. Oh, I hope you all got it just then. ! Giveaway will tell you.
No, it's not that one, Nightfall. It was the one from last game. It's the first. Yeah, it's from the first game in every series. So
I was totally
get a screenshot
aware.
of that one. You can though. You might get a nice desktop wallpaper out
What
of it.
if you missed it? If you missed game 1, you could get game 2.
That's pretty unfortunate if you missed game 1.
Huh.
Pretty unfortunate if you missed 1. But yeah, Fire Giant taken
true.
now by SYF, and now they're going to probably look to push down the left-hand side, take down the tier 2 there, take the Phoenix, swing across the middle, and possibly end it from there. Invidious is really falling behind in this one. It seems like, you know, they had a little bit of an advantage early, just unable to follow up on that lead.
Yeah, and Invidious really had to secure that Phoenix. Divine doing so much work for the team. Stopped them from pressuring and stopped them from evening the trade up of Phoenixes. And it's just so much damage from Divine, and he's gonna finish up Rage as soon as he gets this Gold Fury. Actually, I'm gonna take a look at where's Gold in hand. He's sitting on 1,000, so he needs 200 extra gold before he can finish Rage. And as soon as he does, Invidious not gonna look good at all.
Brana, though, does have his own crits online and is going to be doing a lot of damage towards SYF. And they've actually been zoning him out really, really nicely with Liquid Renegade. Nickrick actually blinks in there, gets a 2-man taunt. Redoxide uses his beads there. Divine is doing so much damage to that tower. Blink Cataclysm in there from Twist. Does a lot of CC there. Just Rogue takes a fair bit of damage. Liquid Renegade's in the backline. Eagles Rally stuns out 2 members of Invidious. Just Rogue taking a lot of damage. Fire Shard does even more damage. Nickrick trying to body block for his teammates, but he's going to pay for it here. Will he die? Liquid Renegade looking for the damage. He does. Petrify comes out from Redoxide as well. Freemason getting chunked down now by Redoxide. SYF Gaming doing exactly what I said before. Looking for this left-hand side Phoenix. Great fearless there from Top Notch, but it's not going to be enough to save the Phoenix. Will SYF look for the middle one before they end? They will. There's the Mesmerize from Divine to give himself that protections buff that you mentioned earlier. Middle Phoenix, it absolutely disappears from the damage of SYF, particularly that chin size of Divine doing a lot of work here. SYF Gaming this is it. If there's ever an opportunity for them to attack, it is now. They have got about a minute and a half left on that Fire Giant buff. No Phoenix is up. 5 minions pushing up. This could be the end of the game.
It looks like it's going to be an Invidious on the back foot. They have to have a perfect team fight to be able to try to win this game. But SYF, Divine is going to... I don't even know how to word this right now. They look so flawless in the early game. We're behind a little bit, but SYF just snowballed so well into the late game. And Divine now, what will he finish up? His last crit item, his very last item is going to be the Rage. And that... oh, that's not looking good at all for Invidious. 3 Phoenixes down, 3 lanes of pressure, a Fire Giant, which actually, like you mentioned, going to timeout very shortly, but all of SYF are ahead in gold. Let's take a look at the graphs right now. 9.6k gold, 8.5 XP. Oh, I don't think Invidious come back from this one.
No, everyone on SYF Gaming just going to get their last couple of items and then look for that final push. Look at Liquid Renegade now. He's got Ninja Tarbai, Frostbound Hammer, Mail of Renewal for sustaining team fights, Mid-Guardian Mail to mitigate a bit of Rana's damage, and now he's got a Chin Size to chunk down Top Notch and Nikrik even more. That is going to be an incredible amount of damage being output onto the tanks and onto the squishies of Invidious, and I just don't think they have a response for this combination of SYF Gaming. The Chin Size just appear to be doing so much work for them.
Indeed, and it's that attack speed and the percentage. The attack speed really helps for 80 carries as well, as it applies more crit damage as well, mainly because with a rage, every attack you do increases the crit chance. So the more attack speed, essentially the more crits you are doing. And 6-1 Liquid Renegade currently. He's been in the back lines of all of these fights with that Eagles rally. He's sticking to the carries of Invidious and not letting them in range to deal that damage that they have to do, and they can't.
This Gaming has lost the Fire Giant buff for this. It will respawn in just under 30 seconds. This is where the fight from Invidious, if they choose to contest this one, I think they should contest this one, because basically if they don't stop SYF from getting this Fire Giant buff, it's game over anyway. They're not going to be able to hold them out. Even though there's only a 5 kill difference in this game, the golden XP is too much for them to handle at this point. Everyone in SYF Gaming is doing too much damage for them to handle, and it might take a slam down from the sky from Freemason to steal it away along with Nikrik's Defender of Olympus. But SYF Gaming doing too much damage at this point. No one from Invidious is on this side of the map. That is it, burnt down now, and I don't think Invidious can hold.
Look at the ward coverage. Just look at minimap. The ward control from SYF. There's a ward within about 2 seconds walk between each other. That's huge. They wanted to see that Anvil of Dawn from the Thor. That was the only thing that could have stolen it, but they saw if it was coming, and it did not. Speaking of an Anvil of Dawn, there is one down onto Divine on a force him out of the fight. There was a bees popped and a girdle actually. There's a girdle in this fight. Oh wow, okay. Now it looks like SYF are gonna try to end Husey.
And it's gonna be should be successful here. Redoxite actually forced to Rana. That's pretty huge there for the Bokes over at Invidious. And now the right-hand Phoenix has respawned, and it's going to be taken down very quickly. Liquid Renegade takes a kill, and that's going to be on towards Freemason. Nikrik takes a fair bit of damage. Middle Phoenix has respawned. It goes down in very short order. Freemason, it goes down there, and it looks like Freemason fearlesses Magnet into his own Phoenix. Just Rogue takes a lot of damage. He blinks through. That was a combat blink back under his own fountain. Left-hand side Phoenix goes down here. Nikrik being chunked down now by Liquid Renegade. That's the Chin Size doing a lot of Rogue. Divine is back, and he is going to be doing a lot of damage to the Titan. Nikrik does a fair bit of damage there of his own with the shield wall. Magnet gets stone shielded beautifully by Twist. There's the Lawbringer over the wall by Top Notch. Takes down Magnet there. The defense from Invidious is very great at this point. This is something that they're noted at being very well able to do, but SYF, they could be too strong for Invidious to handle, as Divine is doing tons of damage. Rana takes down Twist at this point. Invidious, they are holding. I didn't think they were going to be able to do this.
What? There is 3 lanes of minions pressuring as well, but 2 members of SYF did fall. What just happened? Girdle was actually used again twice in one fight, and Liquid Renegade forced away, and what the hell? Invidious forced away. Oh, what? Uzi, what just happened?
Invidious just defended their Titan extremely well is what happened. Idivine, the only one remaining with the Fire Giant buff. Redoxide getting taken out early. That was huge for Invidious. That was a lot of the tower damage down for SYF Gaming, and there was a lot of their DPS and crits going out as well. Because even though Idivine was there, Redoxide, he's got the Deathbringer online as well, and that just makes his crits do so much more damage. And he's got great penetration as well with the Ickvul and Executioner. Him being taken out of the fight and things like his acid spray, which can do a lot of damage to all of Invidious, was great for them, and that was a great early focus of their aggression.
I'm still in amazement that Invidious was able to defend against that, as Divine got 3 auto attacks onto Runner, got him down to about 10% HP. The fact that Runner actually lived there was very detrimental to the pushing of SYF. If they were able to take him down, I feel like they could have closed the game out. Less damage for Invidious would have been up, and I feel like closing the game would have been a lot easier. But beautiful defense from Invidious as Divine looking for top notch.
Maybe just looking to take away the C buff. Actually, top notch actually feels as out of his own buff area. Idivine, if the rest of his teammate can concentrate Invidious onto one side of the map, actually split push to win this game. He's got the DPS to do it along with the Chin Size, the Rage, fully stacked Devo Gauntlets for lifesteal as well, for Talos for boxing around as well. It's going to be very difficult for Invidious to stop him if SYF choose to push another lane at the same time.
Yeah, and these Phoenixes just getting weaker and weaker each time they go down, so it's going to be easier for Divine to be able to split push these. He'll be able to maybe put 2 or 3 autos in and then make them fall immediately, meaning that Invidious have got such little chance to try to keep them up.
Looks like SYF Gaming going to be concentrating on the left side of this map at this point. Fire Giant is down for all members now. Divine does no longer have it attached to him. It will spawn in about 40 seconds, so unless SYF think they can end without that buff, that'll be their next target. But with all Phoenixes down, SYF should feel pretty confident about pushing into the base. However, the last time they attempted to do so, they were beat back successfully by Invidious, as we saw, so perhaps feeling a little bit wary at this point. And yes, now they're going towards the Fire Giant, going to respawn in 20 seconds. I said it last time, SYF get the Fire Giant, they're going to win. Invidious were able to hold them out very nicely, though. I feel like this time, though, it may be a little bit too much if they have the Fire Giant. But it looks like actually there's a fight in the mid lane.
Liquid Renegade actually used that Eagles rally, trying to zone away all of Invidious. Actually, he's 1v4ing right now as the Phoenix has respawned. All of them are coming back up right now. There's a taunt onto Liquid Renegade. He's taken extremely low. Brass Snipes coming through are gonna land onto Divine. 2 out of 3 do land. There's an Anvil of Dawn from Freemason onto 2 members. Girdle is popped, so they're buffed even more. No Fire Giant was taken. Redoxide secures that kill onto Freemason, and this may be the last team fight of the entire game. There was a Fire Shards from Magna, not going to secure any kills, forces away just Rogue, but that Anvil of Dawn is now gone. The steal potential for Invidious of this Fire Giant is now gone.
Yeah, it's going to be real difficult for him to do it unless Just Rogue can land a couple bombs over the wall. But SYF going to burn it too fast, too hard. Down goes the Fire Giant. That's going to give them a nice amount of regen as well. Liquid Renegade sticking to top notch very nicely here, who is taking a fair bit of damage. The Chin Size doing a lot of work. He fearlesses 2 of them back away, actually out of Just Rogue's fire bombs there. Redoxide dashes through, actually picks up the kill on the dash there. 3 members of Invidious up, and it's not going to be enough. Runner disappeared there. He got hit by 2 abilities and was gone. This is going to be it. This is the final push of the game. Girdle comes out again. Titan's already under half health, under a quarter. Down it goes. Just like that, like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. SYF have pulled this victory up against Invidious, tying the series at 1-1 apiece. And that is going to be that for the Smite Oceania Pro League. That is all games done and dusted for week 7 and for the whole competition.
What a way to end the league. A split with such excitement in the games. Invidious were able to pull out game number 1, and then SYF played such an amazing game 2. I was pretty excited. Did you feel excited? I mean, what a way to end Pro League.
It was a tremendous fashion to finish in. SYF Gaming really kind of showing a flash there of the potential they may have for that Challengers Cup tournament. The main competition there is going to be Invidious and the Chiefs from the Pro League. So basically, how the next stage of what happens in Oceanic Smite is going to work is the top 2 teams from the Pro League straight away, they're in packs already. They're ready to go top 2 seeds there. That is going to be Avant-Garde and Direwolves. The 6 remaining teams from the Pro League, those teams being Chiefs Esports Club, SYF Gaming, Invidious, Law Gaming, Ivory Gaming, and Team Solo Theo will be going into a Challengers Cup tournament against 6 open ladder teams and 2 LAN teams. From there, it'll be a double elimination tournament to get to the top 2 teams of all those 14 teams. And those 2 teams will be the remaining teams at PAX for the regional finals, where those 4 teams will battle out for the 1 spot at the Smite World Championship. So, some more exciting Smite action coming to you from TeamDownTV in a short while. We are going on a 1-week break. The Challengers Cup tournament will be played out over the weekend of the 19th and 20th of September, so make sure to tune in for all the action from that one. But at the end of the day, we have to kind of recap the game a little bit here. Let's talk MVPs, Nightfall. Who are you thinking?
That's such a difficult question because everyone played extremely well over the entire set. But the ones that stood out most were Vine, Rogue, Rana, and Liquid, I think. So, number 1, oh wow, that's such a tough question. I'm not too sure.
My vote
Liquid.
is for Liquid Renegade, because
Yeah.
while he didn't put up the numbers of iDivine, or we didn't see him chunking down Phoenixes or doing lots of damage, what he did do was he was able to zone out Invidious very well away from objectives. He was able to stick to the squishes and prevent a lot of their damage from coming out, particularly Just Rogue. Just Rogue was pretty much a non-factor throughout that game because of Liquid Renegade's efforts, and for that reason, I feel like he deserves the number 1 MVP. He even did nice work in the first game, but just the rest of his team unable to follow up on that. So if he gets the MVP, I feel like our runner-up has to go to Just Rogue, because even though I just said he was a bit of a non-factor in the second game, the first game he did so much tremendous work, and he really deserves a lot of praise for his performance.
Yeah, indeed. He looks very comfortable in that Agni. His main is Scylla, and he plays that extremely well. So moving on to this Agni, he just looked so comfortable, so strong, and he played it extremely well. And I definitely agree, number 2 MVP. Number 3 though, I'm caught between a Rana Barana and a Divine.
I think you have to go Divine, because game 1 he did lots of work, in game 2 as well, whereas Rana Brana's efforts were mainly in game 1. Game 2, just the lead SIF was able to build. He wasn't able to do terribly much, whereas Divine, even though they were behind in game 1, was still able to do a lot with that Ratatoska. Split push, while it's not seen as generally a very difficult skill to have, knowing when to get out, knowing how far you can push, knowing when your team needs you is a little bit of a mental skill to have. And I think iDivine really has that, able to almost take a Phoenix essentially in a split push while his team was fighting, able to judge correctly when to get out and to help his team out, as well as that. Just the sheer amount of damage he was able to output, his positioning was on point. So I think it's fair to say he gets the number 3 vote from me.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. So that's going to be Liquid Renegade number 1, Just Rogue number 2, and iDivine at number 3. Very beautiful games from both teams there. But that's going to do it for our Oceanic Pro League first split. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it, Husey?
It certainly has. And what you guys might be wondering about all those MVP scores is, what does that actually mean? Well, what it means is that throughout the season, at the end of every set, we've given the MVP award and then runner-up and third place. And basically those points count towards a total tally, and the person with the most points at the end of the season will win the final MVP vote. Once the results from all this weekend's games have been tallied onto that list, we will announce the MVP, and that will be tomorrow. And the prizing for whoever wins MVP will be announced at that time as well. So stay tuned to the Facebook page, to CG Smite on Twitter, and to all of us here in the broadcasting section who'll be bringing you that news as it arrives. But for now, Nightfall, that is it. That is the Pro League done and dusted.
I want to cry. It's emotional. We're at the end.
It's at the end. We've seen some pretty crazy games. But I think in the end, the teams we all expected to come out on top of it, Avant-Garde and Direwolves, are going to be the ones moving ahead to PAX. And the next big thing on our plate is to be that Challengers Cup tournament I talked about a
Yep.
little bit earlier. And I'm super excited to get onto that one. But for now, Nightfall, it is time to say goodbye to all of you Smite fans out there. Thank you very much to Smite Game and to Allied for hosting us this fine evening. We hope we were able to entertain you on either your morning or evening, depending on where in the world you were tuning in from. But from all of us here at Cybergamer and TeamDownTV and all over Oceania, we wish you a very fond farewell, and we will see you next time.
See you later.